Hello and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News. Today I want to tell you about the former Navy SEALs who have set their sights on Congress, the predictable open letter from the AFT, and just one more reason to hate David Chipman. But before we get started, I'd like to tell you about the wholesome, non-GMO, free-range, sugar-free, gluten-free, 99% cruelty-free night vision products offered to you by our friends at tnvc.com. Handcrafted by honest, hardworking Amish operators using traditional old country techniques, TNVC night vision is hearty and refreshing, just like you. If you like seeing stuff more than not seeing stuff, take a look at our sponsor, tnvc.com, your source for quality night vision gear to make you the bump in the night. Are you tired of the same old boring politicians your grandpa voted for? Looking for something more, I don't know, operator? Maybe you can find what you want in one of the 5 Navy SEALs running for a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives in 2022. Eli Crane, Derek Van Orden, Ryan Zinke, Brady Duke, and Morgan Luttrell are all Republicans, but of course that is no guarantee they will fight for gun rights. And the fact they served in the military isn't either. But the fact they at least know which end is the loud end makes it less likely they'll be snowed by control freak lobbyists. And I think it's fair to expect they'll probably wind up being less bad than most other politicians at the very least. What do you think? Will SEAL Team Congress be a force to be reckoned with? Will they be effective? Will they even care about gun rights? Or is it just more marketing hype? So the AFT published an open letter to Texas-based federal firearms licensees regarding HB 957, which legalizes silencers under state law if they were made and sold within Texas. The AFT maintains the position that silencers are still regulated under federal law and nothing has changed. Of course, this position is a little surprising to absolutely no one at all. While the U.S. Constitution, Amendment 2, would seem to expressly deny the federal government any authority whatsoever to regulate arms at all, or to regulate products which are not, involved in interstate commerce, it's not remotely shocking the AFT would continue to assert its authority in this matter. Of course, we knew that's what they would claim. We knew there wasn't going to be a flood of Texas-made silencers either. Anyone who already has an FFL isn't going to risk it, and even manufacturers who make other kinds of products are unlikely to be willing to risk prison and financial ruin. This will eventually get worked out in the courts. Someday. The point of getting HB 957 passed wasn't so we could all run out and get cheap legal silencers in Texas right away without government meddling. That was just never going to happen in the short term. But we had to get this law passed in order to have those court battles, which could eventually undermine the 1934 NFA altogether. Do you need any more reasons to hate anti-gun lobbyist David Manchip? I didn't think so. Want to hear some anyway? All right then. At this point, you probably heard about Manchip's racist comments implying African American AFT agents had to cheat to pass an internal exam for promotion. Recently, more of his colleagues have come forward corroborating that story, prompting Republicans on the Judiciary Committee to call for another hearing. But there's another racist skeleton in Manchip's closet. Well, kind of. Bear with me. His LinkedIn profile lists his tenure as senior VP for ShotSpotter, where he bragged about his record-breaking sales he made. Okay, why does that make him a racist? ShotSpotter is a flawed system which fails to accurately identify shootings and produces false positives, and it's almost exclusively deployed in minority neighborhoods. These false positives lead to tense situations where responding officers believe shots have been fired when that might not have actually been the case. In at least one instance, ShotSpotter analysts even falsified data in order to support a conviction, according to Vice. I've heard people argue we shouldn't focus on Chipman's racism, and I vehemently disagree. We need to stop Chipman's confirmation, and some Congress critters may be convinced by the reasonable argument that a gun control lobbyist has no place as director of the AFT. But let's be honest, those guys were never going to confirm Manchip anyway.
Others might be compelled by his extensive record of professional malfeasance. And yet others might be swayed by his record of racism. As you contact both of your senators and each of the senators on the list down there in the doobly-doo, consider your audience and use the arguments which will be most persuasive for that person. Well, friends, that's all I have for you today. But before I go, I just want to take the time to remind you to keep up the pressure on the AFT's proposed rules regarding receivers and braces. Keep writing those comments if you don't want to have to buy your next upper through an FFL. Links are down in the doobly-doo. And if you want to get email alerts for the best deals, projects we're working on, and the hottest stuff you missed on the ARFCOM forums, you'll also find a link in the doobly-doo for our newsletter. Remember, our robot overlords in the tube of views know what we want better than we do ourselves, so they helpfully unsubscribe viewers from channels like ARFCOM, which express wrongthink. Censorship makes puppies cry, and Captain America is very disappointed, so don't forget to check every now and then just to be sure you're still subscribed to us, and while you're at it, ring that notification bell so you never miss a word of our gun rights propaganda. If you want to help us keep bringing you banger content like this, please support the folks who support us. Not only does TNVC.com give you night vision with that cool, refreshing, never bitter taste that goes down smooth, they also have mounts, lights, and all sorts of other gear to make you the bump in the night. I love you.